Hi, I'm Matt Gregory, the English winemaker. I make wine in Italy principally, but also in New Zealand and even a little bit in England. I've been a wine merchant my entire life and try to make wines that are representative of a time and a place. Very much the notion of terroir. Today we're looking at how to taste wine generally and how I taste wine specifically. We've got my two wines here from 2018. From Piemonte in northwestern Italy. We have my skin fermented dry Moscato and the barrel fermented Barbera. The first thing you'll notice from the Moscato is that it is not a classically clear wine. Here's one from just down the road from where I make mine, and you can see that it is in a clear glass bottle, but it's also clear wine, and mine clearly isn't. This is not something to put you off at all, but it's a very traditional way of making wine when all the good stuff in it is not taken out. So we have an unfined and unfiltered wine here, and we'll be able to see that there's a certain amount of sediment in the bottom of the bottle. Lots of wines these days are increasingly made in this fashion, which is a very old style way of making them as well. So we're just going to pour a little wine. Now, some of this sediment obviously stays in the bottom. You're not really looking to pour yourself a particularly cloudy glass of wine, but if you do, it's not to be worried about. First thing is we'll have a little look, and it looks absolutely lovely, and then get your nose into it. You'll get that in restaurants when a sommelier or your wine waiter will say, taste the wine, but actually all you're really trying to do is just check that the wine is not off or faulty. So you're just basically looking for a wine that smells delicious and good. The classic swirl will just allow the wine to open up and aerate a little bit, and will release a little bit more of those volatile compounds, which you'll be able to smell much more attractively when it's been swirled around in the glass. If at this point the wine is still actually a little bit dumb and it's not really showing much, there's a little trick you can do is to put your hand over the top of the glass, give it a little bit of a shake, and those volatile aromas are now captured in the glass and not going anywhere. So when you take your hand away, it gets super concentrated, which is a great way of tasting wine, particularly if it's a little bit cold. These wines have actually been served at what we would call more of a cellar temperature rather than a fridge temperature, so more like sort of 12, 14 degrees. Many white wines are served far too cold actually, and it inhibits some of those more delicate aromas and flavours. So, importantly, on to the taste. All of that slurping stuff is just again to get some of the aromas activated in your mouth so that you're really tasting the wine rather than just drinking it. Now actually, I'm a great advocate of just drinking wine as well. It's kind of built into my DNA these days that you do give a little bit of a slurp just to make sure that everything's correct, but really that slurp is just to kind of, again, get the maximum enjoyment out of the wine. And I'm spitting today because it's only 2 o'clock in the afternoon, but occasionally a little bit does get swallowed accidentally. And really, the finer a wine is, the more intense, the longer, and the more enjoyment technically it should give you. On the other hand, that doesn't stop a £7 or £8 wine really hitting the spot, and you can just have it on a Wednesday night and get a huge amount of enjoyment from it. This particular wine has enormous length, and I've had 2 little sips, and I can still feel that flavour growing and staying persistent on my palate. It's terrific. A lot of wines will just be boom and they're gone. And that's also fine as well, but those really complex wines will last a lot longer. The English Winemaker wines are available through a small number of retail outlets, principally through the Bat and Bottle in Oakham, also available through Duncan Murray Wines at Market Harborough and through the Vine Kings shops in the southeast. So they're available from East Molesey, Reigate, Weybridge, and in their new tasting rooms. They're also available on the wine list at the Olive Branch in Clipsham. If you are lucky enough to be in Finland or New Zealand or Italy, they are also available in some selected outlets. They classically retail in the UK for about £25.